Hi friends, it's Jules. Welcome to Jules Journals. In this video, I'm going to be recapping April, everything that I really did in my craft room for April. I like to do these just to kind of showcase what I've been working on, some of the videos I've posted, and it's a good look back for me as to what I accomplished, because sometimes I don't feel very productive in my craft room or on YouTube, but when I look back on it, I really was. I have a lot to talk about. Let's jump right in. And welcome if you're new here. I would love for you to subscribe if you're interested in glue booking and journaling and paper in general. This is the place to be. All right, I'm going to start with this is my monthly one where I put in a bunch of stickers based on the day. This is inspired by Elizabeth from Never Hopeless by Elizabeth. I think that's her channel. I get that wrong every time, Elizabeth, but I will have her channel linked down below if I remember. And yeah, this is a campus, I covered up part of the words, calendar that I got from Barnes & Noble, and I can't find it again even on Amazon. I'm hoping that I can find it for 2026 when that starts becoming the time. I did add a sticker, kind of have the pastel vibes going on for the cover here. And I'll just keep adding stickers as we go through the year. I'm going to push my piles out of the way a little bit. Maybe I will zoom you in a little bit as well. Yeah, so I did add these in here, and sorry if some of these photos are offensive. We were drinking a little bit in New York City and having a good time in the photo booth, and oh my gosh, had so much fun. So let's just move on from those. But here we go. So here is April. And I like to highlight how many subs I had, subscribers on my channel at the start of the month. So I had 2,075. And then the main event for this month is New York City. But also I had a couple 50th birthday parties to go to. And then my husband ran a half marathon. So those were like the highlights of the month for me. So I added some stickers. I do a little bit of writing, but it's really just kind of a conglomerate look back as to what I did in the month. I really like it. I got some happy mail from Laura the Half-Ass Crafter. That was fun. And yeah, oh, I got a Polaroid camera, which it doesn't take that great of photos, which I should have known, but they're very overexposed in my opinion. But I think I'm going to bring it on our trip. We have a trip to Paris, London, and Edinburgh coming up here in just a couple weeks. So I think I am going to take it, even though it's kind of big. But yeah, so that is what I like to do here. It's kind of a quick glance back at the previous months. And yeah, and then in the back here, there's extra pages. So what I decided to do is kind of recap my month and books I finished. So I finished 4 books. I finished The Little Prince, The Stolen Hours, Black Mouth, and The Guise of Another. And The Stolen Hours and The Guise of Another are both by Alan Eskins. The only one I did here actually physically finish is The Little Prince, and that's a tiny little book. I was pretty busy this month, so I didn't have a lot of time to read. The other 3 are on audio. I really like Alan Eskins' books on audio. And then currently I'm reading The Rivers London, and I'm still reading Welcome to the Hunam Dong Bookshop. I didn't even make any progress in Botanical Daughter. And then what am I doing on audio right now? Oh, I'm about to jump into audio of, I can't show you because my phone is recording right now. It's called, what is it called? There's 5 different horror writers like Joe Hill and Grady Hendrix, Catriona Ward. I can't remember the other 2, maybe Stephen Graham Jones. And it's only put out by Amazon. I'm really excited to listen to those. There's like 5 different short stories. And then books I hauled, I actually got quite a bit of books because I got like 9 books when I went to my trip in New York City, and I got 3 when we had a book club outing to Inkwell's in Minneapolis. So those are all the books I bought for movies and TV. You can look and see what I watched here. Probably the highlights here are we finished White Lotus, the season 3. We started Rich and Shameless. My husband had started that. It's like a documentary show on HBO. Kind of interesting stories. I started Paradise. I have not finished. Really like the movie Moon. It's an older movie with Sam Rockwell. I love Sam Rockwell. And then we started Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm and really enjoying that. And we finished Dope Thief, which we really like. I did 9 videos on YouTube, which I will show those in a second. And then coloring pages, I will also show those. I finished 3. YouTube stats at the end. Now I'm at 2105, so I gained 30. I need to write that it's the end of the month because the other one shows the beginning of the month. And then total books I've read so far are 23 books. For a craft room haul, I bought some sticky stickers. I have the membership. And then a Paris coloring book, which I'll show you. The Lazure magazine I'll show you. And then I did buy the Sarah Renee Clark color palettes. I bought the digital version, so I have it saved in my Google Drive so I can look up a palette if I need to, which I did use one of the color palettes for one of my coloring pages. All right, so that is this little guy. The other kind of monthly at a glance one I do, this is a Dingbats journal that I got off of Amazon. I'm obsessed with it. I love the texture of it. It's kind of almost like denim. And this was inspired by my Abiding Journal, I think. Is that her page? I don't know. And she does spreads that look like this. So here is my April. And these are only a month. So I've only done 4 pages so far for 2025. So this book will hold multiple years. And then at the beginning of, I left this page blank because I'm going to do a 2025 look back on the front page. And then we can look back at 2025. But here's April. Went to, we had Fight Club. We call our book club Fight Club, which is hilarious because we're all women in our 40s, 50s. But we went to Minneapolis and went in the bookstore Inkwell's and went to a restaurant called Relish. Finished White Lotus. Watched Moon. Love Moon. My husband's half marathon. And then we celebrated after. I played bingo with some cousins and family. And then my cousin's 50th surprise birthday party. I have New York City pictures in here. That was probably the biggest highlight of the month for me. Read The Little Prince. So yeah, that really encapsulates, is that the right word to use? April for me. I love this layout. I did actually, I started to write April here and I did not like my writing. I hate my own handwriting. So then I covered it up with half a smiley face. And this was a sticker pack from, or almost a ephemera pack. There's at Hobby Lobby, they have scrapbook paper, stickers, and ephemera that you can buy. So all of these stickers were from that pack. They're pretty decent packs, although I'm not a fan of shopping at Hobby Lobby. But, all right, so that's that one. Let's talk about my April videos that I posted. So I posted 8 plus this one, so it'll be a total of 9 videos. I did 1 in my Smash book, 3 in my Square glue book. I did a March Hobonichi flip through. I did a rainbow glue book video, and while I talked about New York City and showed some photos and video from New York City, so if you're interested in that, I would check out that rainbow video. And then I did one talking about the Lazure magazine, one on my accordion album. So let's just go through those books real quick. I have not finished anything in my accordion book since you last saw this in that video. But this is my accordion book, and it is amazing. Let's see. I got this at Michael's, and I've already bought like 4 more because they're fairly inexpensive, and I just think it's so cool. Just need to have the time to go through it. See, there's not enough time to do all this. This is the information on the book if you're interested in getting it at Michael's. So there's that one. That's what I'm talking about when I say accordion. My rainbow glue book, which I'm not going to flip through the whole thing, but I did get some work done in it a little bit during a video. Haven't done a ton though since that video. And this book is from Barnes & Noble. If you're curious, they do have it online, or you can find it. I have found 2 of them in store. I bought a second one, in store. But yeah, the video that shows this, I do talk a lot about New York City and show some photos from my trip. So that's a fun one to check out. Then this is my square, my main glue book. And I did 3 pages in here. So let's look at those. I did this one. And there are videos on my channel showcasing these. And then this one I just did the other day. And then there is this one. So it got a little bit of progress done in here, and I love this glue book, how it lies flat. And here is the information on it if you're curious about picking this one up. I do really enjoy that. And then this is what I'm calling my smash book. And there is a video where I'm just chatting and smashing stuff in here. I think it started maybe here. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So I just like to, excuse me, drink some water, smash stuff in here. Makes no sense. Just stuff I like, stuff I might have done. Didn't even put that in there yet. And then, oh, these are the Polaroids. See how bright they are? I think that's just the way it's going to be. Maybe it looks better if it's a Eiffel Tower. All right, so that's my smash book, just kind of a junk journal. All right, I'm going to quickly go through my Hobonichi flip through for April and not do a separate video for it. And then, because I just know a lot of people are not interested in seeing that. So in here, I put down all the words for Wordle, forgot a few pages. And then on the monthlies, I like to do photos for each day. Now the paper I have right now, I'm not a fan of. So the pictures aren't that great, but I print them on sticky sticker paper. And sometimes the image does not necessarily match the day because I don't have a photo from that day, but it's a good recap of the month. And then in these, I like to do, I talk about, I keep track of whether I drink alcohol or not. That's something I'm trying to reduce. And then I talk about I write down the hours I slept, another place for the Wordle, and then a kind of a recap of the day, and then what media I watched or read. Not everything's complete. I was adding stickers in here, and now I've just kind of given up on that. And then it's really become a smash book in here for me. I don't do a ton of journaling, actual writing in here, but I also, journaling to me does not just mean writing. It could be putting in quotes that mean something to you, magazine images you like. So that to me is journaling. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough. If anything sticks out to me that I want to tell you about, I will let you know. Zoom out a little bit. This was my dad. I always played, or I learned how to play cribbage and then played with him in the last couple years before he passed. And then the 2 and the 7 are my favorite numbers. But he would always say 15-2, 15-4, there ain't no more. So I wrote that in there. Fight Club again. So I have a business card. These are great for junk journals. If you go anywhere, just grab their business cards that are sitting on the counter. Oh, that's inappropriate. My friend was talking about Game of Thrones. And then I have a quote in here. My favorite childhood memories, my back not hurting. This is from that Happy Mail that I got. So I put the note card in there. More quotes. Books are mirrors. You only see in the what you already have inside you. You only see in it. I think I forgot a word there. Carlos Ruiz Safan. And then this is my start of my trip to New York City. So I put in tickets and some images that I had. My throat is really dry right now. So this is another business card from a restaurant we went to, bar. Yeah. And that is not much. This is an old business card, and then I have another quote. They who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who only dream by night. Edgar Allan Poe. You might be poor, your shoes might be broken, but your mind is a palace. Frank McCourt, Angela's Ashes. And then this is just kind of a little tribute to my mom and a beautiful card that I received. This is stuff on Alan Carr's book about not drinking, so I just put in some quotes in here. This I pulled from a magazine image. This is the map route from my husband's half marathon that he ran. So I taped that in there. A quote that I liked out of my Don't Forget to Sing in the Lifeboats book. A note card I received from my boss that was very nice. And then I played bingo. Not yet finished. But yeah, so that's a quick walkthrough of my Hobonichi. All right, let's do the coloring pages next, and then I'll show you the haul at the end. It's not a lot for the haul. But the coloring pages I finished were this one. This was a buddy color with my friend who I'm going to Paris with in a couple weeks. So we chose to do this one. I got confused as to what this was, and I think that's supposed to be a sidewalk. It's so funny how you get confused. I just realized I forgot to color up here. And then I painted the pink clouds because her husband was like, why would you buddy color? Like, I'm like, well, it's just fun to see how each person interprets the page and colors things. Like, maybe I want to paint or color the clouds pink. And he's like, no, why would you do that? Kidding. So I had to do pink clouds. All right, this one is a buddy color with my friends Crystal and Hazel. And there's that one. Zoom back out a little bit. And yeah, this one was hard. I didn't know what those were. Is it eggplant, sweet potatoes? I don't know. I do have some glitter on there. Not sure if you can see the glitter. But yeah, that was fun to do. We're trying to do one a month. And then this one was another one with my friend, and this is where I used the Sarah Renee Clark palette, and I really screwed up my name, so I had to cover it up with some tape and then put it down. So it didn't turn out that great. There is a lot of glitter in here, and that is the inspiration palette I used, which matches pretty well. So I love these because then I can just print it out, but I am going to save it in here so I know what color palette I used. And then I was testing pens to see what came closest. So it really did help me. Obviously my printer's probably not the exact colors it's supposed to be, but it's a general idea. So those are the coloring pages I did in April. And now let's talk about the haul. So I have the Sarah Renee Clark color palettes digital. I didn't buy the cards. I just think I don't need the cards. I can do just the digital. These are the sticky packs I received for this month. I get the vintage and the pop. I think there's one more. I can't remember what it's called. These will be good maybe for London. I should actually set those aside. These are Art Nouveau. At some point, I should probably cancel this subscription because I do have a ton of stickers. But I like getting it. It's fun. And they come in these packs that have a 3-ring binder, so you can just put it in a binder. And they usually come with like a paper pad. And then these stickers, which I never use, you can put on the edge so you know which pack it is. And then sometimes a bigger sticker. I'm not even sure what this is. Yeah, this is a bigger sticker. So that's the vintage one. And then the pop one looks like this. I usually like the pop one better just because I'm a fan of color. So yeah, another little notebook. That's a big sticker. That's a big sticker. Ooh, that might look good on my, no, it's at the bottom of the pile, my calendar. And these are what these stickers look like. Those are great ones for the craft room. I'm just going to pull those out as well. Those will be good in one of my monthly journals. And sometimes I send like a postcard, which these are good that I can send like my patrons in my Patreon packs. And then this is a coloring book I got that I'm obsessed with. It is From Paris with Love, and it is 21 shop fronts to color in. I like even how they have a map of it. So when we go to Paris, we're like, we could actually go see some of these places. This is the first one we're going to color because we do plan to go to Shakespeare & Co. Yeah, and I like how it gives you an example, so you can kind of emulate that. But sometimes there's things in here that aren't in. Let's see if I can find one. Like they'll add things over here. Oh, like the writing right there. It's not right there. But yeah, I love that book. And then I got my Lazur magazine, which I do have a full video flipping through this magazine. If you're curious, this magazine is amazing. If you are any sort of paper crafter, or journaler, glue booker, I highly recommend this. All right, so that is my recap for April, what happened in my craft room and on YouTube here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a successful month in your craft room. Let me know what your favorite thing is that you did, if you're doing anything, or what you read or watched. I would love to hear that too. But you guys take care and peace out.